Welcome back to the Good Talk, where we discuss what's hot, what's grot, and everything in between in the wide world of Warhammer. I am Brian. On the keys today, we have the ever-elusive Lindsay. And sitting next to me, of course, is the infamous Doc Mel. How you doing, Mel?
I'm good. Pezler, you're correct. I had ice cream and Cheez-Its as my first meal of the day just right before this. I am too old to do that. We are struggling. We're in a journey right now.
I was the only one to not eat the ice cream. I will have it known.
Yeah, because you were eating cup of noodles. None of us made good choices.
No, yeah.
No bad choices were made.
I feel attacked right now, Mel. Anyways, we are here to discuss the brand new Blood Angels Codex and give our first impressions on the book. So shout out to Games Workshop for sending this to us early so we can review it for you guys and let y'all see it. Note, this will not be like a full in-depth review. We, of course, will go over whatever your questions are. If you wanted to see anything specific, we are more than happy to show you.
If you want to see the review, check out the pre-recorded video that just went up today, where Bridger goes in-depth into all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So.
But definitely check that out after
after
the Good Talk.
Stay with us. Hang out.
That can wait.
Yeah, this will be probably roughly an hour to give our thoughts and to hear what you guys think about the book and just have a conversation surrounding it. So initial impressions of the book, I like it. I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with it, especially coming off the release of the Imperial Agents Codex. I think this is a breath of fresh air, to say the least. This is head and shoulders above. And it feels like a Space Marine Codex should, or at least what you would imagine a Space Marine Codex will feel like. One of the things that I want to talk about first, before we get into anywhere, is the fact that there's only 3 detachments here. So if we,
And
where are we at?
there we go.
That's the top of my head.
Oh, and it's down.
And the camera's down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll just talk really quick. So big thing for me, and I don't see this as necessarily a negative thing. It just kind of feels, the Blood Angels players will probably feel like they're getting cheated almost in a way. There's only 3 detachments, and if you look at the Dark Angels Codex, there's also only 3 detachments for that book. So I think the writing is on the wall that the supplements for these, the supplemental factions for the Space Marines will have 3 detachments. It seems likely, right?
I would be very surprised if like suddenly one of them had more, given that they're setting up this pretty clean balance.
Yeah,
between
so
all 3.
especially because you can still take from the generic Space Marine detachments. Right? You can still take Gladius, you can still take Ironstorm, you can still take all the other stuff that you want to take. But only having 3, I imagine, will probably make somebody feel some type of way. But I don't think they're bad in any way, and they're all playable, which is cool. Like there's not one, like there is one that I think is the best one, but it's not like the other 2 are just so much worse that you can't play them. So 3 attachments. You still get access to all the Gladius stuff, which is cool. And for the future, that seems to be what'll happen. But for the detachments, I guess, since we're talking about which one I think is the strongest.
Well, I think she got the camera up.
Oh, did we?
I got it. Yep.
Oh, okay.
And there it is.
Alrighty, so this is the Liberator Assault Group. This is kind of like the generic index detachment. It did get a little bit better. You get an extra strength now when you charge instead of only being +1 strength. You'll get an extra attack and all that other stuff. The enhancements are pretty cool. And again, we're not going to go super in depth with the review. You guys can see it on the screen as well. So it has all the strats that you would imagine, all the ones that really matter. Like you have Armor Contempt, you have all types of stuff in here. And I think this one's fine. I think it's more of like a generic kind of take-all comers kind of thing. The next detachment is specifically for the Death Company, and this is one that I kind of want to talk about a little bit more, especially because we just played a game, you and I, where I had Death Company in the list. And
they were buns.
Yeah, Death Company, they don't really
They died.
perform.
They are Death Company.
Yeah. They didn't really perform all that well, and having a whole detachment surrounding them, like it makes sense, obviously. And GW, I think they hit the nail on the head with this one. It seems pretty accurate to how they are. Like their detachment rule, you already get reroll hits. That's just like a data sheet ability that they have. And then this detachment allows them to get access to reroll wounds, which would really help with their output.
Do you think it's enough though?
I don't think it's enough because like one of the big things about them is their weapon options were changed.
Yeah.
Like the ability to just take all the Thunder Hammers or all Inferno Pistols or whatever, like their output is just not the same. You get 1 special weapon, which is probably a Power Fist, and then you get 1 Melta Pistol, and then that's it. Everything else is chainsaw or bolt pistol. You can take a Plasma Pistol if you were feeling spicy, but they just don't really perform.
Nightmare to run.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's a ton of different flavors of Death Company. You can take them with jump pack, you can take them with bolt rifles, or you can take them with just chainsword bolt pistol. But they're all just like intercessor, assault intercessor, jump pack assault intercessor is kind of what they are. And it seems like it's a little unfortunate. They all share the same rule, which is the Black Rage. So they can reroll hits, and then they get OC 0, and they can't fall back if they're not next to a chaplain, which again is thematic. It makes sense for the unit. I like that rule. And then they all have like a special thing that they get to do, like the intercessor variant. They can fire Overwatch for free, and they can heroically intervene for free. But yeah, the output just isn't really there. But the rules for this detachment, I think, can help lift them up a lot. But outside of this, I'm not sure that I even care too much for Death Company, if I'm going to be honest. Because even with the character support, like if we look back at the game today, without giving any spoilers, I had character support in both units by Death Company.
Yep.
And neither one of them did anything. And I was able to actually do, on the charge with Lamarty's, or not Lamarty's, with Astrath, just bounced super hard, like nothing happened. So I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. This is like the one, if I had to say it was the worst, in my opinion, it's kind of this here. Now, I'm sure I'm going to be wrong somehow in some way. It'll be obvious how wrong I am.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah. But outside of that, the next attachment, I think, is Head and Shoulders. Yeah, maybe not Head and Shoulders. I think this one is definitely the best one, the Angelic Host. This is the one that I played earlier today. So this is the uppy downy detachment that allow you to pick up 2 units off the table at the end of your opponent's turn and then bring them back down in your movement phase. And I think this one has a lot of playability and a lot of replayability, which is really, really important for something like this. You have a lot of strats, like the strats you want in the army are all here, right? You have the 3-inch deep strike, you have armor contempt, you have a way to make your opponent fight units that you don't want them to, or they don't want to fight, right? You have advance to charge, fallback and charge, like all that stuff's in here. And then the enhancements just really elevated even further. So if we look at the very last one here at the bottom of the page, Gleaming Pinions, if you just throw this onto a captain and throw them inside of a Sanguinary Guard unit, the Sanguinary Guard are just dialed up to 11. They are already very strong. And then you just add this. This gives them a reactive move.
Oh my god.
And then you can armor contempt for free because the captain's in the squad.
You're already driving so much of the game. You add this and like I can't even come at you.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
wild.
I think like this alone inside of Sanguinary Guard is incredible. It's so strong. And I guess to that point we can talk about the Sanguinary Guard and what are your opinions on the Sanguinary Guard? Because you just played against them.
Yeah, so no spoilers, but they hit hard. I think we can go back to our beautiful face. Oh, yes. I missed you, Chad. Yeah, not any spoilers, but they hit really hard. And you already have an ability. You can uppy downy so much. Like, I couldn't imagine if all those times where I moved into you, you could have reacted, moved away.
Yep.
And then the Sanguinary, they just, they were just deleting units. And I was rolling really well, and you were just deleting units off the table. Anything that would, they would just bulldoze through anything with smaller wounds.
Yeah, I think that obviously the Sanguinary Guard should be good, right? They're like the staple unit of Blood Angels. When you think of Blood Angels, it's either Death Company or Sanguinary Guard. Yeah. I think the Death Company are a little bit of a miss for me. Yeah. I don't think that they're unplayable. I think there is a way to play them, and there will be ways to play them, and people will. But I think Sanguinary Guard just outshine them in every single way. Yeah. And they got such a glow up. Where the Sanguinary Guard, I think they just got strictly worse because of the weapon option changes.
The Death Company.
Death Company did, yeah. The Sanguinary Guard got better. Like, they lose Power Fist, which sucks. Like, that definitely feels bad. But then they get access to the Spears, which are new. So the whole unit can take Spears now, which I tried them out today. I'm a little on the fence with them, I'll be honest. You get Lance, which is cool, and when you have the ability to fall back and charge, you should always be at a +1 to wound, which is really nice. But you have less attacks, it's less AP, and in the world of Armor and Contempt, AP is kind of king. And the squad size was reduced on them also. So it used to be 5'10", now it's 3'6", and that's, I think, the biggest hit to them.
Yeah.
Is because if you could still take them in squads of 10, they would drop pretty much everything in the game, I think, especially if you have the right character support on them. And they're mega durable with the character support. They're already -1 to hit in combat, and they're -1 to hit, -1 to wound if they have a character leading the squad. So
most of them were still on the table at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I was sitting I played Oops All Wolves, and Oops All Wolves went into your face.
Yeah, you actually charged first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are just still there.
And also, with the right character support, free armor contempt, You have the reactive move and the particular the angelic host, right?
Yeah.
I think obviously you still need other things to play the game. Clearly, you can't just take all of the Sentinel Guard and Death Company and whatever else, right? You still want generic Space Marine stuff, as every Space Marine player will attest to. One of the things I do want to talk about though is the Ball Predator. Funny enough, I don't know what he was in previous edition. I'm just looking at the data sheet now. But everything's assault on him, and he can reroll his advances and reroll his charges, I think, also. Advances for sure, I don't know about the charge part. But he also has like half of a Land Raider Redeemer for the Flamer. He just has D6 plus 3 Land Raider Flamer shots, at strength 6, AP 2, 2 damage. And he can advance and shoot it because it's assault.
Oh, so he can...
And it's probably a third of the price of a Redeemer.
Yeah, and then the...
So you get 3 for the price of like a Redeemer. I don't know what the points will actually end up being. Of course, this is all dependent whenever we get those, but... They're obviously significantly cheaper than a Land Raider. The Overwatch ability you have,
because you can't avoid that. Like you can usually avoid a Land Raider Redeemer if you have to, but you can't avoid that. Especially you're gonna make like you have all the movement in the world.
Yeah. And if you're shooting at the tanks, you're not shooting at the infantry.
Yep.
And so giving you something else to worry about is helping to alleviate some of the pressure on the other units.
Yeah.
And oftentimes you're just gonna be jumping from building to building or building to combat with all the infantry stuff. And so having just like tanks to run up the midboard, turn 1 or turn 2 before you make your charges, before you want to commit anything, and to just control the space, right? And that's like a really big thing is just to control the space. Because you can give them, they have that flamer just naturally. You can give them 2 heavy flamers also, or 2 heavy bolters, but you just take the heavy flamers because everything's assault anyways. So now you have 2 D6 heavy flamer shots and then D6 plus 3 super flamer shots. It's like, well, I'll overwatch you and I will kill probably something. Or at least neuter it enough to where you'll think twice about it, right? But yeah, the Sentinel Guard, super strong. I'm super into them. Oh, they also got a 4th model save, which they didn't have before. So they lost 4 models in the squad for their max, but then they gained a 4th model save and an extra wound. So I'm okay with this change, to be honest. Like,
I think they won.
2 up, 4 up, 3 wounds. Like the 3 wounds is a huge breaking point because a lot of like heavy bolters, for example, are 2 damage, AP 1. If you're not in cover, it's enough to just kill stuff, right? But now they are just mega durable, and I love it.
It is a bummer for if you have a ton of sanguinary guys.
Yeah, that is true. That's
a bummer.
Especially if you like modeled them all with like the power fist too.
Yeah. Because
now there's no longer power fist, and even the swords and the axes don't matter anymore because they're all just wrapped up into one profile. So it's all just the Incarmine blades, or you take the Incarmine spear, and I don't know what it's actually called, the spear or the blades, and that's essentially what it is. Which sucks, you know. Yeah. And I get that's GW trying to like make it so you can use all the weapons in the kit without having to do any extra crazy stuff, which I do appreciate. Although we haven't seen the new kit yet. No. It hasn't come yet. But I imagine it's going to be like enough for all spears or various other weapons, right? Because all the dudes can take spears. So either way, I'm super into it. I like the Sentinel Guard. The Death Company, again, a miss for me. But I'm curious to see what you guys think because or if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
We have one super chat.
Mm-hmm.
Muted. We do have one super chat right now, as you can see on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
This is from LOL Chaos. Thank you, LOL Chaos. Oh my goodness, I am a mess.
It was all the ice cream that we just ate.
Yeah, it was. Definitely. There we go. Thank you so much, LOL Chaos 13, for the super chat. And they say, blood for sanguines.
Sanguinius?
Sanguinius?
I think that's actually sanguine, but...
Oh.
Yeah, for sanguines. God, I'm thinking penguins now. But anyway. Blood for sanguines. Horus, skull on the golden throne. Wait a sec.
Yeah, Blood Angels hate Horus. Like, just hate him. That's what, like, the Death Company see. That's why they go crazy. Is everybody turns into Horus, and that's why they go into, like, this killing frenzy, because all they see is just Horus. And so the Death Company have to like be controlled by chaplains, otherwise they will just kill everything in sight because everything is Horus, even their own brothers.
Oh wow!
It's crazy. Yeah, it's nuts. I think it's good for
Thank you so much, LOL Chaos.
Yeah, this book I think it's definitely competitive for sure. I think there's a lot of play. You'll see it in competitive. This like some detachment from this book in competitive. I think Gladius is still strong for it as well. Like just the updates to the data sheet makes Gladius still. Like playable, still worth it. Gladius is always playable because you always have access. You can do whatever you want all the time, whenever you want to, which is always, of course, really strong. But I definitely think that this is a good playable book. I don't see anything as being like super busted,
Yeah, no.
like right off the jump. And of course, this all is points dependent, but I don't see anything that's just unplayable either, which is really nice to see. It all seems like it internally works well with each other, and all the data sheets work well with the detachments. And also, they added captains, like Death Company captains. Those were back. I know we had a while ago. We had a question, a super chat. This was like a couple of weeks ago before they announced anything, asking if we thought that Death Company captains would be back. I mean, Adrian were just like, no, absolutely not. They don't make a model for it. They would have shown off the model. Like, it's not coming back.
Sometimes I like to think that James is watching, and he's just like, oh,
Out of spite.
you think so? Send.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Death Company captains, they're cool. I actually think they're pretty spicy. One of them, when they die, they can just like explode on the unit that killed them. And if the warlord is in that unit, they just like super explode on him, or it's easier to explode on him, which is really cool. So I think, look, flavor-wise, I think they hit Death Company pretty on nail on the head. Hit the nail on the head. There it is.
So you had Mephiston in your list.
Ooh, I did have Mephiston.
How did you like him? I'm once again muted. How did you like Mephiston? Because like when we were originally looking through the book, like Bridger and Adrian were really like excited about Mephiston. So how do you've played with him now? How do you feel about him?
I think Mephiston, for whatever reason, he got so much better from the index to the book to the Codex, and I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me. He is very strong. I think he's probably one of the better models in the book. He's a lone op, which is cool. He fights first, which is great. He advances and charges.
Come on.
He makes you take a battle shock when you want to fall back within 6, and if you fail, you don't get to fall back. And on top of that, he has a 4 funeral pain. He's also strength 9 in combat with like 8 attacks or something ridiculous, or 6 attacks or something ridiculous. So I don't understand why. Actually, we can just take a look at the data sheet.
Yeah.
That makes way more sense instead of me trying to describe everything.
I mean, I'm really impressed with your memory right now.
Look, there's like 2 data sheets in this book, and it makes it quite simple to try to remember. But this dude, where are we at? There we go. Boom. Like, this guy got such a glow up, and it doesn't make sense to me. I'm a big fan of him. He has a lot of utility to the army, just because a lone op is always good all the time. Now, for the things like the uppy downy detachment, he won't get benefits from it. From the Death Company detachment, he doesn't get the benefit from it, because those 2 detachments specifically, like the Angelic Host, you have to have a jump pack to use any of the rules, to use any of the strats outside of Armor Contempt. And then the same thing with the Death Company. You have to have the Death Company keyword, otherwise you don't get to use any of the stuff unless you want to use Armor Contempt. So he doesn't interact with stuff in that way, but his profile, like his data sheet, is just good. Like, there's no reason to not ever take Mephiston, I think. And of course, points dependent, but even if he was, like, what does it have in the back of this book? This won't mean anything, because it doesn't exist
Which
currently.
still always blows my mind.
Yeah, it's
They
kind
just
of...
like print points, yet they never mean anything.
So currently...
I don't know. Can we say points?
Can we not?
I don't think we can.
Oh,
Good thing I didn't show anything.
Yeah.
excellent.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing we cannot say. Is
Interesting.
points.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well, look at us.
Yeah. Look, even if he was more expensive than he is in this book, I think I would still take him. He's just such a good data sheet to have in your army, because again, the fights first is always nice to just be like, you can't shoot me. If you want to charge me, I will hit you before you hit me, and I probably will kill enough of you to make it not as big of a deal.
And you advance and charge anyway.
And he advances and charges, and he moves 7. I don't know why he moves 7.
He moves 7.
It's just like a random number. It doesn't make sense.
Like, that's not a Space Marine number.
No, 6, 12, and 10 are the Space Marine, or 5. So 5, 10, 6, 12. Those are the Space Marine numbers.
Interesting.
Yeah, he is incredible. I don't know if there's a reason to not take him, because he can score you secondaries. He can just stand out in the middle of the table and be like,
Yeah, he was like on one side of the board for me that I had to deal with.
yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
So he's really good. I like him a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to thank Colonel Festus for gifting 1 membership. Thank you so much, Colonel
Thank you.
Festus.
Thank you, Colonel.
Yeah.
And thank you again for all the members. That's why Brian's in his lovely yellow tracksuit.
Oh, yeah.
That's
His
not.
favorite.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm ready for the competitive speed walking here.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I just have to say we have a yellow chair, as you all are aware. If you've seen past videos,
Any good talk ever.
any good talk before what good talk is right now, you have seen the yellow chair. Brian
Fully blends in.
Fully blends in. It's wonderful. It is amazing. And yeah, let us know if you want to see that. If you want to see a picture of that,
And we always have to do what chat asks of us.
Yeah, I am a man of the people. I will have it known.
As we can see,
As
we've
clearly.
seen, yeah.
Definitely what the tracksuit says.
Yeah, and then even like Mephiston, he's got 6 wounds at that profile.
6?
6 with the 4 feeling of pain.
Oh, of course.
Which is,
okay, when did 4 feel no, like it's supposed to be a 6 but feel no pain, and then they were like 5, and now they're like just 4s. Half of your things are feel no pains.
I don't think anything should ever have better than a 5, and I feel like that's the sentiment that is.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. Nothing should have better than a 5, and then there's stuff that's like, I have a 3 up against psychic or whatever. Like Corn, for example. Like the dogs, they have a 3 up feel no pain against psychic.
A feel no pain is supposed to be this like last ditch. Like, oh, I want a 6. Yeah, and a 4, like that's just you get just to re-roll your wound rolls, like wounding. Again.
And then you put that on a unit that you will never shoot outside of 12.
Yeah.
GW, what are you doing? Come on.
Yeah,
like, don't make the data sheet great, and then give it loan up on top of that, or a feel even like take one of those rules away, and he's still he's still an auto include. Both of those rules, you will never not take them ever. So I don't know.
Yeah. I see in chat someone saying that this feels like a more internally balanced book. Yeah, this book feels like, okay, this is an update. It can play 10th well. It gives you cool things.
Yep.
But it doesn't, it's not like, as like a Space Wolf player, I'm not like, oh, like the Blood Angels are going to destroy us all. Like it feels, I'm like pretty happy with the tone it's set as not a Blangels player, a Blangels player.
And I think that it will work really well with the regular Space Marine stuff. Like, obviously, you're going to have to take regular Space Marine stuff if you want to make a nice, balanced list. And I think it could do well in those scenarios. Like, the Death Company Captain, he gives you Scout. So you have options. Like, obviously, there's nothing in this book that infiltrates for free. But you can get Scout without having to dip into the Space Marine stuff. So really, all you want from there would be, like, the Infiltrators or Incursors. Probably Infiltrators. And I mean, some of the random stuff, like Inceptors. Like, Inceptors are always good, so you always take them as Space Marines. But outside of that, you can probably get away with not taking much else, right? Yeah. You can figure it out in this book if you wanted to, which is really cool. Like, I don't think even the Dark Angels, you really can't do that.
No.
Like, you have to take regular Space Marine stuff. Like, there's just no way. And in this book, you at least have the ability to not do that if you don't want to. Yeah. And then also there's the Brutalis Dread. And this is actually something that I'm not... One of my biggest complaints about this book, if you want to call it a complaint, is that all the Death Company stuff is just Primaris painted black.
Yeah.
So, like I was mentioning earlier, the Death Company, the Primaris with Jump Pack, Assault Intercessors are just the Death Company. You have the Death Company with Bolt Rifle, which is Intercessors, and then you have the Death Company with Chainsword, Bolt Pistol, Assault Intercessors, and then you have the now Death Company Dreadnought, which is just a Brutalis Dreadnought painted black. Which is fine, like it's cool that they have access to the Brutalis Dreadnought as Blood Angels, but it just seems kind of lame, like almost like a cop-out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they released the new characters like Lamardes and Astrath, which is really cool, but come on. It's weird, right? Like, everybody's going to be playing with their old Marines, their Death Company, or as old Marines, because that's what everybody's Death Company was. It seems like they could have, in addition to the Sanguinary Guard, also done Death Company if they were just going to primarisize everything. And I know that's probably a lot to ask for in one Codex release, and maybe in the future, like the near future or something, they'll put it out there, especially with the changes to the War Gear options. But it's kind of one of my biggest pet peeves. It's like, if you want a Death Company, you paint it black. Yeah. Even the same thing with the Captain. If you look at the Captain model for the Death Company Captain on Jump Pack, it is where's it? Where are we at? So this guy here. That's just the basic Captain with Jump Pack, painted black, and his Death Company now. So they don't make a model for it, but they're still doing the thing. So I don't know. It seems like they were trying to go away from that for a while, like almost exclusively going away from, if I don't have a model for it, you don't get to have it. And it kind of feels like we're back to that. So I don't know.
It is strange. I'm surprised they didn't release one.
Yeah, it seems like if they're going to put it in the book, especially with the way that they've been releasing all the other stuff, if there's no model for it, then you don't get to have it. But now we're back to doing the thing, just painted differently, and that's what it is. Which, to be fair, that's really all Death Company are. They're just painted black with like a red cross on it, and that's totally fine, but it seems strange. I don't know if there is a point that you don't include Mephiston. I mean, there is, of course. Like, eventually, you just get too many points. J? Is it just J?
Just J.
Yeah, so I think you'll just include him. Like, there's no reason not to. His data sheet is just, speaking about Mephiston specifically, his data sheet is just way too strong to not have. Because he gives you flexibility, right? He gives you utility. You can hold down a whole flank of deep strikers with just that one model. Because he'll never get shot within 12. You can't deep strike within 9. So if you deep strike to shoot him, sure, whatever. He's got a 4 field of pain. So what are you shooting at that's actually going to kill him?
You had to put so many units in to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And you need to if you want to clear up that side of the board.
Mm-hmm. Or he'll just hold your home objective for the whole game behind a wall. So even if you could find a line to see him, you probably aren't in range. Or if you charge him, he'll just fight you, or whatever the case is, right? He is just too much bang for the buck, I think. So I could see him, I don't know, like a nerf. Like, the 4 feeling of pain is what makes it kind of a little bit over the top. I think if they just reduce it to a 5, it's much more.
Yeah.
It's less egregious, I think. But right now, it's just pretty egregious, in my opinion.
We do have a super chat. Like this one from Bonesaw is ready.
Bonesaw is ready.
And they say, really like the Codex. I think the Liberator and Angelic will see the most play in comp. A little sad that we lost the Flying Librarian Dreadnought, and that seems to be what most people are pretty bummed about.
To be fair, I hated that thing with a passion.
Why?
So when I lived in Alaska, one of my friends, he plays Blood Angels. To this day, he still plays Blood Angels. And he always had Librarian Dreadnoughts, and they always flew around everywhere, and they always murdered everything. And I hate them with a passion. Bridger hates Sisters. I hate Librarian Dreadnoughts. So you know what? I'm not sad about this.
Well, in our TTTTT, in which we all had to play what we hate, looks like we're going to have to revive some Librarian Dreadnoughts for you.
I could play an all Dreadnought list with the Dreadnoughts that I hate. Like Chaplain Dreadnoughts.
Oh my gosh.
I hate those. Hate those with the... Oh, Murderfang. Hate Murderfang. Bajorn. Hate him too. But yeah, the Angelic Host and the Liberator are definitely going to get played the most. I agree with that for sure. Like I said, the Death Company one, it just seems like a little bit of a miss because of the units that it's surrounding. Like the detachment itself, totally fine, playable, totally works. But the units that want to go in it are kind of what I have issue with. Because what are you going to take? 3 units of Jump Pack Death Company, 3 units of Intercessor Death Company, and 3 units of Assault Intercessor Death Company? They're none of them battle line, so you can never take 6 of anything. Oh, I guess they become battle line in that detachment, so you could take 6 of them, but it's just not worth it.
No.
It doesn't seem like you're not going to kill anything, which is the biggest problem.
No, I agree with Brian. I think Angelic Host is going to be the best one.
Yeah, I think that's just the one. Like, if you look at the reason Grey Knights are doing so well, it's because they can up you down, and your opponent has to learn how to play around the army as they're playing against the army.
And it's
such a hard thing to do.
Complicated thing to think out in your turn, being like, okay, I need to move to do my secondaries, but I also need to make sure that I'm responsive to wherever he can move and like wherever I can block you out.
Yeah.
It's
especially when you have a lot of reactive stuff too, like with the Angelic Host, they have the reactive move.
That's impossible. You're playing 4D chess at that point, and I'm just like, you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
Yeah, and if you watch the game with me and Adrian on Thursday, and that was the game. I was playing Grey Knights, Adrian was playing Tau, and I was telling him, I was like, hey, don't forget XYZ, and he's like, all right, cool. I'm like, all right, and if you do this, ABC, it's like I have the whole alphabet of stuff that I can do.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think it will be just the immediate answer for people who, like, when they look at the book, this is the thing I want to take because it just seems like the best thing on paper. And to be fair, I think it also is. But yeah, it's the reason Grey Knights do so well, because your opponent, again, has to learn the army as they're playing against the army, which usually never works the first time, right? Especially if it's your first time going against it. How do you...
Yeah.
What do you do? Like, if you have infiltrators, I think that's going to be a staple. Like, every Space Marine player already takes infiltrators, but like now you really take infiltrators, especially if they're...
Which then points back to Mephiston. You don't have to take them because you have that character.
Mm-hmm. I hate to say this, but like I don't really like that Blood Angels got this detachment because I think it takes away from Grey Knights in like a weird way.
Interesting.
And this might just be me more of like an addition problem than it is like this Codex. And it's definitely more of an addition problem than this Codex. Like the fact that they have it in this Codex is cool. Like it's obviously nice that they were able to have a detachment that has a lot of utility. But the more and more we are seeing that as a Codex comes out and they like a thing, or as indexes are like, the rules are getting doubled up somewhere, right? And a lot of these factions are losing what makes them feel like this faction. So Grey Knights, their whole identity was Uppy Downy.
And do you think we're going to see more Uppy Downy?
Oh, for sure. I absolutely think so. I would be shocked if Eldar didn't get an Uppy Downy one. I would be shocked, like any of the Eldar, like Dark Eldar or Drukhari. Like I'd be shocked if that didn't exist somewhere. We're definitely going to see it more, and I don't want to see it more, if I'm going to be honest with you, but
yeah,
it is what it is, unfortunately. But yeah, it just makes it feel like these factions lose a lot of character when everybody else gets to do the same thing that you do.
Yeah.
Like if nothing is unique, then why play a different army? Like why do we
just
not all just play Space Marines?
Yeah, we just different color Space Marines.
Yeah, exactly.
At that point.
So that's one of my biggest like pet peeves of this, I think. Actually, if I only had one thing to say that was negative, it's that, I think. Not that I hate the detachment. I think the detachment is great. I think I love the detachment even. But
yeah, because you're a Grey Knights player.
I can't help what I like, Mel.
I get it. I get it. I play wolves.
Well, we do have another super chat from Bonesaw is ready.
Bonesaw is ready. Every time.
Also, Tamel, hopefully we can see some Space Wolf games with some weird characters like Lucas, the Trickster, before the Space Wolf Codex comes out. Seems like most Firstborn will be getting squatted this edition now.
Yeah, so I have Lucas and I'm building, and I definitely have the other characters. So yeah, I should get it because I think I have almost all the Space Wolf characters now, so I really should get it. Adrian's working on my custom Bjorn and my custom Murderfang, which will be really exciting. So yeah, definitely want to keep spicing up. I fell so fast and so in love with the Thunder Wolf Cav, and now I own all of the Thunder Wolf
Literally
Cav.
all the ones you can have, yeah.
I literally own Max Thunder Wolf Cav now. I mean, one of them's a bear, but it's okay.
It counts.
Hey,
It
works.
counts.
Yeah.
It totally counts.
It
so
adds
yeah,
flavor.
I will definitely get, because I even have like Alaric and all of them, so.
Nice.
Thanks so much. Bonesaw is ready.
Amazing. Lucas is a really cool character.
Yeah.
As much as I am begrudging to say it, he's probably the coolest character in the Space Wolves. There's a book where he like fights against the Dark Eldar. They go to like, I don't know if it's actually on Fenris. I think it's on Fenris. But they go to Fenris to invade, and then Lucas is like the one dude that is aware of it and is like fighting him off or whatever. And he just has like blood claws, you know, because he's like the ultimate blood claw. He's just always a blood claw for the rest of his life because that's what he wants. And he like hijacks this venom and like flies the venom into the heart of the Drukhari camp to fight the, I think it was a Dracon at the time, but like the Dracon, and I forget the dude's name. But he like literally hijacks this thing, pretends to be Drukhari because the one that was flying the thing was Drukhari, and he was just like holding a gun to him. He was like, "I'll kill you if you don't fly this thing to your base." But anyways, it was cool. It was cool. He almost dies to Mandrax though.
Oh.
And then he doesn't.
Of course not.
Yeah. So it was great.
Well, I also see that bear in chat liked the bear model, which I love.
Yes.
I love.
Yeah, it was it was the first time I saw it. When did you finish it?
This morning.
Nice. Perfect.
This morning. Literally. Yeah. He's been missing a shield and a hand for quite some time. And I may have stolen a shield and hand off a different model.
Totally fine. No one will know. There's so
No
many
one will
models
know
here.
unless someone's watching this and tattles on me. No one will know. Yeah. Well, any other questions about the Blood Angels? Any other last thoughts?
Yeah. If we have any questions, again, we have the book. We're happy to go through it with you guys and to look at stuff. If you want to see the actual in-depth review, again, Bridger, well, one is out right now. So after this, go ahead and go watch that, where Bridger will talk about his thoughts, where he goes through everything, all the changes from the index to the codex and how he feels about it. I don't think he had really anything negative to say.
Yeah.
Which is that's like a first for Bridger. So I'm pretty impressed, actually.
Yeah. It'll be fun. If you're a new member, you should come watch Bridger play the Blood Angels on Tuesday.
Yep.
Do you know what you're playing?
I don't know if we know.
I don't know if we know that.
I think
It should
the
be a
vote is either
right?
up or just finished, but
Well, if you are a member from earlier this morning,
Yes.
One of the 212 new members, go to the premium channel, the premium voting specifically, and go vote for what you want to see on Tuesday, because now you have access to all that stuff. So you are eligible to vote.
Let's see, a little question. Can the normal chaplain lead the Blood Angel foot units, if I can read that well?
Normal chaplain, I would assume yes. So like the chaplain from the Space Marines is what they're talking about here. So Death Company, attached unit. Yeah, chaplains can lead the Death Company Marines. They can lead I guess that's the only foot units, yeah. So chaplains, the generic chaplains can lead Death Company. There's a stipulation in the book for Sanguinary Guard and Death Company. So Sanguinary Guard, if a captain could lead assault or the jump pack intercessors, they can lead Sanguinary Guard. And same thing with chaplains leading the Death Company. If they can lead intercessors, they can lead Death Company.
Chaplains are something I don't get in Space Wolves. It's sad.
You don't get chaplains?
I don't think so. I don't think I get chaplains at all. Is it that I can't get chaplains or I can't get priests?
Well, you have priests. Priests
Yeah,
are the wolf priests are.
wolf.
Those are the psychers, though, I think, right?
Or is it maybe I can't get a librarians? The ice cream has gone straight to my head, guys.
But yeah, so I like that kind of inclusion because it makes Death Company Marines like actually usable. If you really wanted to use them for damage, because you can throw them into assault intercessors, the Death Company Marines with the chain swords. Although you have to have a chaplain that can lead assault intercessors, and I don't know if there's a generic one that does. I'm sure one does, right? They wouldn't have put this in here if one didn't, right? Surely.
Space Wolves can have apothecaries. Yes.
Apothecaries, yeah, they cannot have apothecaries, which makes no sense. But and then captains can lead Sanguinary Guard, which is why I think the Angelic Host detachment is so strong for them, because they get the reactive move and the free strat and oh, I know the art is so sick.
Yeah, I see another question that came on in.
Yeah, so, well, we can look at the art real quick, and then we can...
Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can find an angle where it's not super...
There you go. Well, yeah.
That's
like
almost
that.
cool, but... Yeah, I gotta say, GW has been putting out amazing art in these codexes.
I mean, just the whole, the fancy bookmark, the
Look
red
at the cover of this
foiling.
book. Look at this. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Super cool.
That's crazy. And like the texture of it too is amazing. There's a bookmark on it even. Oh my gosh.
It's so good.
The packaging on these is really cool too. It's like if you look at the box. Oh, there's stuff in this box.
Yeah.
You want to do the front? Might be easier
You're going to
say.
have to hold it in front of your face if I go to the front.
do that.
So just heads up. There we go.
The packaging on these is super sick.
Yeah.
I think the artwork is just so cool. The back, where's the symbol from? Is that a Blood Angel symbol? I don't think I've ever seen this before.
I would hope it's a Blood Angel symbol.
I mean, it's surely, right? It's got to be Blood Angel. Why is it a ram head?
Yeah, right?
Chat, what is this? I've never seen this. Ever in my life.
Man, this is up for pre-order starting today.
Yeah, starting today, out for pre-orders.
Yep.
2 weeks, I think, is their timeline nowadays. So
2 weeks.
And that box has the special edition codex in it, which is the one that we've been looking at here, which is the super sick one with the bookmark, which is super helpful, and I love it.
Yeah. So
And you can't buy the special edition codexes outside the box, can you?
I don't think so. No, you have to get them in the box.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it sucks.
I wish
if
you could.
if they sold them separately, they would sell out of them.
Yeah, because
Oh,
they're so
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, they
Oh,
look
yeah.
amazing. Like I would buy one for Eldar. I would immediately buy one for Eldar, but I know I won't buy the box for Eldar
Because you don't
because
need
I don't
them.
need it.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get the special edition codex.
Yeah.
But
Point.
I would definitely buy it if they sold it separately.
You could always like split it with someone.
Yeah, that's true.
But, you know,
But then they want the book
but they
too.
want the book
Yeah,
too.
like, who's keeping the models and not the book?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we do have a super chat. This one's from Matthew Powell, and Matthew asks, what's the coolest lore part of the book?
Ooh, Mel looked at me immediately, and I don't have an answer. I am not super big. Like, I don't know. I haven't read any of the lore from this book. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, the coolest thing I have for the Blood Angels is like the Devastation of Ball, and that's like the only thing I have. There's the Heritage of Sanguinius. That's probably cool, right? The Flaw. Oh, that's just the Red Thirst and Black Rage. Okay. Oh, Dante and the Lion. What is this? That's probably cool. Oh, isn't there a thing where they like hated each other or something? And there used to be a rule for Blood Angels, and I want to say Dark Angels, where you had like two captains. Before the game started, you could have like fight each other. So they both started wounded, but then they got extra stuff.
Oh, that's
They got like
cool.
+1 strength and whatever else was. I think that strat was a Dark Angel strat in like 8th edition, I want to say. 8th edition, 9th edition? Somebody remembers. And I think it was between these two. And I'm sure that this is what it's talking about. Yeah, I don't super know the lore. I just know about like the Devastation of Ball, where the Tyranids invaded Ball and like basically burned it to the ground. And then that's when Gilliman came in with his plot armor and delivered the Primaris to the Blood Angels.
I mean, the art's gorgeous.
Yeah, the art is beautiful. Oh my God, look at can we just Speaking of devastation of ball, oh my God. Can we just, what is that in the background?
Wow.
What is this thing?
What a giant.
It's a giant
statue.
man.
Yeah.
And then the Tyranids on the other side.
Oh, so good.
That's crazy. It's so good.
So cool.
Makes you wish they made like really high definition movies of Warhammer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think those are our thoughts. If there's no more questions.
Yeah. If we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're good.
We did the thing.
We did the thing, guys. Well,
What is your overall opinion before we go out?
Yeah.
Close it out. What is your overall opinion?
I'm super happy. And like happy as someone who is like gonna get, like I would be happy if any of the armies I play, if the books were like this, right? I feel like it's very balanced. It's very interesting. It does give you something like, gives you some really cool, slightly OP things, but it's not like gonna throw off the whole meta. We're not gonna have to like have like a cleansing of the Blood Angels. I think Death Company, yeah. So I'm pretty happy with it. What about you?
I'm in the same boat. I'm very happy with this book. I think I would be happy to play against it also, which is a really big thing for me. If I don't want to be on the receiving end of this, that like if there's something just so obviously broken, like it oftentimes in GW's past, like if you look at even 9th edition, with things like the Leviathan supplement or any of the extra stuff that they put out, or even just codexes in general, they're just like so broken. Nobody has fun. Like it's not fun to play with.
Exactly.
It's not fun to play against like early edition Eldar, right?
Yep.
Early 10th, like day one 10th edition Eldar. I stopped playing them because they were just ridiculous. And it never feels good, right? And this book isn't that.
Exactly. Like if you pulled this at a tournament, you'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like
cool, I can play into this, and like I'm happy. This is going to be a great game.
Yeah.
And I am very happy that we have moved on past Imperial Agents. There was a lot of feels bads, and rightfully so. There's a lot of feels bads about that book, and then coming into this book, I'm very happy that it's not even close.
Nowhere.
Not even close. So we can finally put that book to rest, I think.
We can put it behind us.
Yeah. We're moving on. It's gone forever. But yeah, I'm super happy with this book. It's nice, and like you said, the Death Company, whatever. Yeah. But they make up for it with Sentinel Guard.
Yeah, and it's not like the whole book, and they've got like some shining moments, and yeah.
So overall, I'm super into it.
Yeah, we'll be playing Blood Angels again on Tuesday. If you didn't get a chance, Bridger did a pre-recorded before this where he went through all the book in detail. And then we just played a game. Won't spoil it, but you should take a look at our game and
it was a great game.
See the transition.
Yeah, why this is what it is.
Why this happened. No, this is just what you decide to wear today, right?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
This is like you're just.
I own all of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your favorite color, yellow.
Yeah.
I know coming up next week, Monday, we have Mundigmar.
Mundigmar.
I don't know what we're playing. Do you? Nope. Surprise
I don't think anyone knows.
I don't think we have.
It's all up to Adrian, who's across the country right now.
Yes, Adrian's on vacation. We'll all find out soon.
Yeah. Hopefully tomorrow.
Hopefully.
Or today even. That would be better, you know? Then game Tuesday, game Thursday. This will be at 6 o'clock PST, which is not our normal time because, again, next week everybody's gone for the most part.
And we'll probably be doing Blood Angels again.
Yeah, probably do Blood Angels.
Most likely.
More than likely,
Yeah. Whichever detachment we haven't done yet will probably be Thursday.
Yep. And then hobby stream as well, but this will be at 12 o'clock PST. So our schedule for Thursday has flopped. So hobby in the morning, game in the evening, just as it used to be once upon a time. And then Saturday again, back at it, playing more Warhams. This one will be
Shane
will be back on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because Adrian and Mel will be gone.
We had Nova.
I will also be gone at the.
It's gonna be a Bridger and Shane
It's gonna be a Bridger and Shane and Lindsay. You get to try to wrestle those two. And
you gotta
make
sure Bridger's not too mean to Shane.
Yeah. Hey, I've put in I've done my Bridger and Shane matches in the past, so
you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready to tackle this.
Linda is ready.
But yes, that's the schedule coming up for this week. So stop by, check it out. Let us know your guys' thoughts on this book in the comments below if you're watching after the fact. Let us know what you think about it in Bridger's review. Tell us how wrong he is, because he's oftentimes just very wrong. But he doesn't dislike this book. So
and
maybe
neither
he's not.
do we.
Yeah.
Like, so far, no one's unhappy.
Yeah. You know you won't be unhappy because you get new rules.
Yeah.
can never be unhappy with
shiny
new
new
rules,
book.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, Imperial Agents, right?
Right?
But anyways, with that,
We'll catch you next time on the tabletop.
bye.